Hey guys, what's up? I haven't done one of these in a long time, so let's get another one in. We're gonna call this one, just like the other ones, the authentic versus replica series that I started. So right here I have the authentic superflies, and here I have a pair of cheaper replicas, I guess if you can call that. So the first thing we're going to do is take one of each here. Now, this is just firm ground. This one's the SG Pro. So what we can do is I can still compare with the firm ground studs that are in here compared to these ones as well. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to notice, here I'll take this shoe because it's the same one, same foot, is the material is different. This one, you feel it, it's not a material that breathes. It's kind of like a plastic that's basically over the sock. Compared to this, you can feel it's still waterproof, but you can feel that it's basically some sort of synthetic material over the actual sock part. So this one's very plasticky. This one's a lot more nimble and flexible and less kind of stiff. So obviously you can look at the color differences as well. This one's a lot more of a yellow compared to this one's a lot more green. You can see the Nike marks here. This one's a nice pink, like flashy pink. This one's more orange. You've got some gold here that's in there. So if you look at them, they look roughly the same. I mean, the Nike mark goes roughly the same length down the shoe. So those are obviously the actual sizing of the Nike swoosh here is not different. But the first thing that you'll notice is these feel like it's just a cheap plastic, right? You can really tell it, and like it shows grooves here, but that's just basically made from the material itself, like the plastic itself. As you can see, they're much more defined here, and they look a lot more like actual material. So the second thing we're going to look at here is the actual sock part of it. So you can see this one's very stretchy. It's very nice. You've got the side breathable patch here. You get the mercurial at the back. Same thing on the other side. Now this one, here's where you can tell the difference. So on the inside, you can see, looks like kind of yellow arrow or black arrows in the yellow material on the inside, and here there's none. So that's another telltale sign of whether they're authentic or not. The second part, if you look at the inside here, it's just basic. There's nothing. This one actually has a Nike swoosh, and it's really a stiff kind of material that goes here. This one's a lot more, it shapes to your foot, so it's stiff at the bottom, and then on the top it's very pliable, so it kind of wraps around your ankle. This one's more of a, you can tell this one's more curved. This one's very stiff. If you look at the stitching here, let's focus here, come on camera. Alright, so the stitching on this, you can see here, these are the real ones. So it starts at probably right in front of the actual ball on your ankle. Goes all the way to the back. This one here, there's none. Well, there's actually some, but it's not at the right spot. It's it's lower, and you can see that it goes all the way up. It's basically the same stitching that goes from the side all the way up to the back. This one, it's very nice and neat underneath. So it's a lot more sloppy. You can really see how sloppier. It's not hidden underneath the actual tag itself. So that's another thing. So we're going to go at the bottoms. Now here's where you're going to see, and you guys can probably already tell. We're going to take a look at this one. It's going to be a little hard. They're a little dirty, and there's a tint of blue, so it's dark. But these are the nice, there we go, you can see them over here. They're nice big squares, just like the other Vapor, the other Superflies. So on these ones, you can already see it is like a little sheet of, I don't think it's carbon fiber. I would have to cut it open and check, but it does look basically like just a super thin layer of carbon-like material. So obviously this is the replicas that I have in my hand now, and these are the real ones. So obviously let's now compare, since we're on the bottom, the actual studs here. So we're going to look at these. We've got some see-through ones on this side. So the way this is very difficult for me to compare them, because you've got the two soft ground here, which would basically be these clear ones. So we can't compare those, but we can compare everything else. So if you look here at the front of the shoe, there's the triple, there's two. So I'm not 100% sure if the non-soft ground have a third one there, but that being said, the actual front stud here is clear on the real ones. There's color in this one, so that's another thing that you can look. Now the back, half is clear, half is not. That's the replica. These ones, they're both filled in. The studs themselves feel, the ones on here feel a lot more stiffer and just like hard plastic, kind of like a, it's a lot cheaper anyways, feeling to it. These ones you can actually kind of feel, they're not, I'm not going to say they're soft, but they're not as stiff, and they're a little longer, which is a good thing. So the bottom here on this pair is very flat. It's very flat. There's not a huge curve. It starts to curve at the front, and it's very, very narrow in the middle, as you can see with this. But this one has, you can see it's as flat, but it has a lot more curve on the instep compared to the fake ones. It's basically flat all the way through the bottom. This kind of starts that curve to go around your foot with the material, so it's not flat and then abrupt. So obviously it won't rip here. So there's a lot of stress that's going to happen on the inside here. So on the inside, the soles in this, let me just take it out for you guys just to give you a quick idea. They're basically just kind of a cheap, super thin foam. There's no writing on them. You can see in these ones, you've got the mercurial, and it's a lot stiffer, but it has a lot more padding. It's not flimsy. So that's another thing. Alright guys, so just to continue on what I was saying there, sorry, had a little break there. We were talking about the soles. Now, the replicas have come a very, very long way. As you can see, there's a little bit of glue that's showing here, like almost nothing. Got a little bit up front here, but that's just because of the artificial turf. It basically starting to split apart at the front. They've done a really good job, I have to say, compared to before where it was a lot sloppier. You can see the glue. Obviously there's nothing to be seen here with these ones. So that's another telltale sign if you see a lot of glue, especially on the heel parts. This particular pair that I have here doesn't have a whole lot. You can see it when you get up close over here. Just like that. sorry, the camera won't focus, but that's for that. For the inside here, you've got the ACC, you've got the swoosh. It's about the same. This one, on the replica over here on the bottom, it's a little further back. The authentic one is a little more forward of the peak here. So that's another thing you can do. The other thing is with the laces. The laces on replicas are always too long, so you always have to double knot them, and they're still kind of flimsy, and they're really cheap laces compared to the actual ones. You don't necessarily need to double knot them. They're the correct size, according to the shoe size, of course. So basically that's what it is. So just an overview for what to look out for. Material on this is very plasticky, very stiff. When you feel the side of the shoe, it should feel very bumpy, and it should feel like almost like paint over material. That's the best way I can describe it. It's more of a rubber compared to the plastic. Obviously, fly wire here, there's none in here. It's just a little canal that they put in there. There's some in here, obviously, that you can't really tell without cutting them open, which I don't really recommend you doing. Obviously, the stitching on the inside here, the cleanliness on the real ones compared to the sloppiness on the fake ones. Sorry for the blurriness here. Obviously, this is the replica, so obviously the carbon fiber, you can tell it's cut very sloppy, especially when it comes to the top here. If it can just zoom in, there you go, you see how sloppy that is. It's very obvious. The glue is also a telltale sign along the actual outer sole, the bottom sole. And the other thing is the ACC should not be in line with the peak. It should be a little forward. Now, if you're still hesitant, you can check online and compare the colors of the ones that you got, because the colors on the fake ones will usually always be off. As you can see by this, they're basically two different colors. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. But we're gonna go ahead now and get these on my feet. I'm gonna put one on each foot just to show you how it looks on feet. Alright guys, so here's the on feet part, okay? So don't mind my sock just hanging out there, but first thing you're gonna notice, these authentic replicas, so you're gonna notice this is just single knot. I didn't double knot them. It's nice, clean. I won't really have to worry about, you know, getting my studs stuck. But look at these, look at these. This is single knot. Even with double knot, it's ridiculous. You almost have to tuck them in. Not only that, but you see how flush it is over here because the material is so snug that the laces don't bulge your foot. Look at this. In between every lace, it just bulges out because the sock itself isn't as tight as these ones. You should basically be able to play without tying them. That's how tight they need to be. So obviously you'll get a lot more support out of these ones than these ones. So let me just give you a look at the insides as well on foot, so you can see the difference. There's a lot more flexibility when you press. This is kind of like just flat. You can see the curvature of the foot on this one. This one is just really flat. So that's it, guys. If you like what you saw there, leave me some comments. Subscribe if you like it, like the video, and we'll see you next time.